10 years from today, Lisa Schneider will trade in her office job to become the leader of a pack of dogs. As the owner of her own dog rescue, that is. A second act made possible by the reskilling courses Lisa's taking now with AARP to help make sure her income lives as long as she does. And she can finally run with the big dogs. And the small dogs, who just think they're big dogs. That's why the younger you are, the more you need AARP. Learn more at aarp.org/skills.
For adults with Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms, every choice matters. Tremfya offers self-injection or intravenous infusion from the start. Tremfya is administered as injections under the skin or infusions through a vein every 4 weeks, followed by injections under the skin every 4 or 8 weeks. If your doctor decides that you can self-inject Tremfya, proper training is required. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
If your small business is booming and ready to expand, you might say something like,
"It's happening! Booyah! Yeah! Crushed it."
But if you need someone who can actually help protect your growing business, just say,
"Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there."
And just like that, your State Farm agent can help you get the coverage you need for your new space. For your small business insurance needs, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The other baseball award show, or the OBAs. These are a collection of awards that I want to give to people that aren't Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge. I want to give some shout outs to not only players, not only people in the game of baseball, but people that watch it, interact with it. So the team and I, we came up with some categories. I've done this in the past. I did a video a couple years ago called the Underrated Awards that kind of highlighted a lot of guys who did really interesting things that no one publicly was really talking about. And I wanted to expand on that. I want to do this every single year. So this is something we will do. We have a bunch of those categories. And then we have 8 community categories that we got over 500 people voting on this last year. I tried to post it everywhere I could. Tried to stay on top of it as I am very busy. In the future, someone else is going to handle like getting that out on social media all the time. And it'll be a little bit more in your face probably. But 500 votes is pretty good. So to the 500 of you that voted, thank you. For the 500 of you that didn't vote, what are you doing? We're going to pop into it. And there's a lot of interesting things here. And I want to know what you guys think in the comments below or in the chat below or wherever you are. What is missing? Who should have won things? Who was snubbed? All of that stuff's important. Because if you don't complain, how will I ever know? You know what I mean? All right, let's get right into it. We can do all the video now because I'm on my channel. I don't care about getting demonetized. Okay. Woo! Award number 1. We have the Greg Maddux Award, awarded to the pitcher that put up the most Greg Maddux-y type of year. Were there some strikeouts? Sure. But it's about longevity. It's about quality starts. It's about dip diving and dodging them. It's about using your defense, and it's about taking the ball every 5 days. It's about being a professor. And it came down to a couple guys, but I decided to do one. So, without further ado, the winner of the Maddux Award, Logan Webb. So, Logan Webb had a sneaky, very good year. Now, I'd say he's probably the first chair in the Greg Maddux class in the current major leagues. Him or Nola probably would be my guess. Guys who pitch with that same, you know what I mean, aura. Aura's the right word, right? Logan Webb. All right, Logan Webb, 207 innings pitched with a 5.4% walk rate. Greg would be proud. He had 22 quality starts out of 32. So he threw 6 innings and gave up 3 or less runs in 22 of his 32 starts. Yes. Ignore the Tommy John scar. He only allowed 14 home runs. For context, I'm pretty sure Jeff Hoffman allowed more than that, and he was a reliever. Like, 14 is really low. It's a really low number for 207 innings. That's crazy. He had a 107 location plus and a 111 pitching plus. This is a stat built on Fangraphs that kind of takes all of the metrics in and tries to give you a rating. That's about 7% higher than average. I believe like the highest number is like a 115. So like that's very good command. He struck out 116 in 207 innings, his highest ever. And he was in the conversation top 5 for the Cy Young. Just chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. Now he's not Paul Skeens. He had a 3 ERA, but he had a very good year. So shout out to Logan Webb for the year he had. And honorable mention, obviously, is Yoshi Yamamoto. He had a 110 location plus and pitching plus, but again, he's on the Dodgers, and we talk about him all the time, and he was just the MVP of the World Series, so boo. So we're going to go with Logan Webb. Congratulations, Logan. All right, next up, the He Could Be a Savannah Banana Award. Now, this goes to the people, actually, because there's 2. And we kind of divided this into an A and B category. A is vibes, B is play. So what guy could do crazy stuff like backflip and make crazy trick plays? And then what guy just vibes-wise would probably be great doing some dances? They don't necessarily have to be the same person. So we went with 2. And I really want to know what you guys think. But here's the 2 guys that we did. We're going to start with vibes. First up, the Could Be a Savannah Banana Award for good vibes is Drew Gilbert, who is getting choked by his teammate right here, right in front of your face. That was just a little one. You can see Matt Chapman's like, this is awkward, but I like it. Drew Gilbert traded from the Mets over to the Giants at the break and just was like, hey guys, you guys want to punch me? I'm in. Like, just vibes. You got the boys going, and it's no surprise that there was a spelling mistake in the thing. Okay. Moving on. Who is the player, though? Who do you think the player is? That could be a Savannah Banana. Dalton Varsho. I saw it in the chat. Someone in the chat said it. Dalton Varsho, definitely. The guy caught a ball like this behind his back. I guarantee you he could just do a standing backflip. He used to be a catcher, and now he's like a Gold Glove center fielder. Big guy. Big Savannah Banana energy. He's kind of quiet, though, so I think it would just be trick plays and just smirks. But if you combine him and Gilbert together, now that's a Savannah Banana. All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, the Kike Hernandez Award, obviously, is reserved for the guy that maybe isn't the best in the regular season, but just showed up in the playoffs. And this is tricky because Kike Hernandez was literally in the playoffs again this year. Though he did have some big hits, he wasn't his prototypical self. There was someone else that we just didn't think was going to produce that did. It's a little bit outside the box. There's a lot of people that could be this person, but we decided to go with Mad Max Scherzer. He came out. He did way more than anyone thought he would. He had a 12 ERA in the first inning all year, I myself included. Really counted him out. He was hurt for a month, came back into the playoffs. And what he did, he went 1-0, threw 14 and a third innings, gave up 6 runs, and almost won a World Series. So I think he is really underrated with what he provided for a team that was really light on starting pitching. He did a great job, him and Shane Bieber. So I'm going to give him some credit for that. Max Scherzer, congratulations. Oh, also, he's probably going to go to the Hall of Fame. So I think he's got 3 Cy Youngs. He's pretty good. All right, moving on. Next up, we have the Forgot He Was There award, which goes to the pitcher that allowed the most stolen bases in the fewest amount of innings. This was my favorite one. If you watched the prior video where I had this before, it was Adam Ottavino. And the reason I made this up was because I wanted to give it to Adam Ottavino because he gets run on all over the place. And this guy, for all intents and purposes, was 2025's Adam Ottavino. And your I forgot he was there in 2025 was Seranthony Dominguez. Seranthony Dominguez gave up 19 stolen bases in 62 innings, and I chose this picture for two reasons. One, his 8 is upside down, LOL. 2, he's checking a runner as if he's not going to give up a stolen base. Boy, howdy. Wow. Seranthony Milady Dominguez is your I forgot he was over there award winner in 2025. Let's work on that slide step, okay? All right. The Remember This All-Star award this year goes to a guy that was an All-Star this year that you probably already forgot was an All-Star this year. And there are one of these every single year. And so I want to make sure that we give a double tip of the cap to a guy who made an All-Star team to make exactly one more All-Star team that I made in my whole career. So congratulations, no shade. I just want to give you your flowers because you had a good year. And remember that guy from the All-Star team guy? Remember that? Shane Smith, Chicago White Sox, your Chicago White Sox All-Star this year. Shane Smith, Rule 5 guy. Congratulations, huge Shane. He actually finished the year really strong on a tough team. Going 7-8 with a 3.8 ERA in 146 innings, ate some innings, struck out 145 in those 146, and only allowed 117 hits for a 216 batting average. Really effective. Really effective. And he also has like the biggest pitching arm I've ever seen. That's unrelated, but Shane Smith, congratulations on your All-Star. No one can take that away from you. And if everyone forgot, they shouldn't because you are an All-Star. Congratulations. All right, let's go to Game of the Year. There are a lot of games, all right? We just had the greatest World Series probably of my lifetime, or one of them. So it could be anything, right? Like we could Game 7 World Series. We could do Game 3 of the World Series. We could do Game 5 of the ALCS or ALDS. We could do there's a tons of games during the season, right? But this game is not a game between two teams that were very good, but this game was good. It was a good game. It was a nail biter in all the not best ways. Let's just put it this way. If you were a pitcher in this game, in the bullpen, and you saw your friends going out there, it was almost as if it felt like you were on one side of a pool full of sharks, and everyone was walking across this little bridge and just falling off into the sharks. And you're like, well, I hope you don't call me down because this is not a day I want to pitch. And in all places, well, you're going to see. You know where it was at. This game was played in the Colorado Rockies against the Pittsburgh Pirates, where the Colorado Rockies took down the Pittsburgh Pirates in July, 17-16. You're looking at the win probability here. The Pirates blew not one, but two 9-run leads to lose the game. You see they got up 9-0, slowly whittled that down. Pittsburgh kept responding and then gave up 7 unanswered to get walked off by a 5 spot in the 9th inning. To probably show the saddest graph of all time. Though there wasn't a lot of differences, that's one of the greatest comebacks I've ever seen, especially when the away team scores 9 and then scores 7 more and still loses. So I'm going to give this Game of the Year. Congratulations, Pirates in Colorado. Something to hang your hat on, at least the lineups. There was 36 runs scored. There was 33 runs scored and 40 total hits in 9 innings. That is incredible. Good job. Good job. Great job all around. All right, next up, the Platinum Glove in Our Hearts Award goes to someone who's really good with their glove but simply didn't do anything else enough to win a Gold Glove or a Platinum Glove, but they could have if they wanted to. Maybe they weren't up long enough. Maybe they got hurt. But this gentleman will be someone that maybe you don't know his name, but you definitely know his work. Let's do it. Let's see. It is Denzel Clark of the Athletics. This gentleman played in 47 games. He had 239 with a almost 40% K rate. But in those 47 games, he made about 8 of the most insane catches I've ever seen, and a couple of them were back-to-back. We have this one in LA. We have one in Sacramento. We have one in, I believe, Toronto, where he's just like, he basically flips over the wall every time. The guy is the best timing I've ever seen, and every catch he made was incredible. Denzel Clark, you are the platinum glove in our hearts. We would like to see more of that, my guy. Please keep it coming. Wow. 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 Platinum glove in our hearts.
Ten years from today, Lisa Schneider will trade in her office job to become the leader of a pack of dogs. As the owner of her own dog rescue, that is. A second act made possible by the reskilling courses Lisa's taking now with AARP to help make sure her income lives as long as she does. And she can finally run with the big dogs. And the small dogs, who just think they're big dogs. That's why the younger you are, the more you need AARP. Learn more at aarp.org/skills.
Let's say your small business has a problem, like maybe one of your doggy daycare customers had an accident. You might say something like,
Doggone it!
Hi, Chihuahua.
Holy schnauzers.
but if you need someone who can actually help, just say,
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
and get help filing a claim from your local State Farm agent. For your small business insurance needs, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
AJ, we're going to do things a little bit differently here. I am wearing the Perfect Jean, and I remember seeing ads for the Perfect Jean, like most comfortable fit ever, perfect fit on your body, and I was like, I'm not buying it. Now, I'm buying it, and we're showing it off on FT.
Please get off my desk, first of all, Scott. Second of all, I was with you. I was skeptical about Perfect Jean, and then I got a pair, and the fitting was perfect. And my body's not hard to fit because I got a big old rear and big old legs from years of squatting, and they fit perfectly. They're stretchy, they're comfortable, they're fashionable. They're everything I look for in a jean, and now I have an extra pair, and I'm going to wear them all the time.
FOUL15 is the code at theperfectjean.nyc. FT listeners get 15% off your first order, plus free shipping, free returns, and free exchanges when you use code FOUL15 at checkout. That's 15% off for new customers at theperfectjean.nyc with promo code FOUL15. After your purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support the show and tell them Foul Territory sent you.
All right, moving on. I don't know why I did that. He's not. He's still with us. Okay, the Jose Ramirez Award goes for a guy who was really, really, really good, who was in the MVP conversation, but probably will never win one. Basically, it's a guy who had a very, very good season that I just not enough people talked about, and I would like to talk about. Vis-a-vis Jose Ramirez. So this year's Jose Ramirez Award goes to. We thought about giving it to Jose Ramirez, but that would be boring. This year, it goes to Geraldo Perdomo of the Arizona Diamondbacks. This guy was good, really good. He triple slashed 290, 389, 462, had an 851 OPS. He is a middle infielder. He is a shortstop. He just signed an extension with them. He hit 20 home runs, 100 RBIs. He struck out at a rate of 11.5%, which is very low, and walked at a 13.1% rate, which is higher than his K rate. He had a sub 20% chase rate, and on top of all of that, he had 5 outs above average, putting him in the 87th percentile in defense. So he's great defensively. He puts the ball in the play. He runs a little bit. He hit for pop. He hit people in. He got on base. Like, he just did everything. This guy's great. So Geraldo Perdomo, you are this year's Jose Ramirez, even though Jose Ramirez is this year's Jose Ramirez as well. But you can't give the guy his own award. I don't make the rules. I just make the rules. All right. The why did we care so much? Covering a story from this last year that ended up not meaning anything. And I think you can guess who we chose for this, or what we chose for this, because it's obvious, even though there is one little side note that actually does make it matter, just no one was really talking about it. So maybe you be the judge, I guess. You be the judge. You're always the judge. All right, let's do it. Why do we care so much about torpedo bats? Remember that? Remember Anthony Volpe hitting 2 home runs in a series, and everyone was like, but the barrel was lower. But this bowling pin is making guys hit more homers. That ended up being not the biggest deal on the planet, though I will say Cal Raleigh did use a torpedo bat all year and hit 60 homers. So people aren't like, that bat looks weird. Maybe it was part of it. Maybe it wasn't. We'll see. But torpedo bats, what do we think? Are we still angry about them? Are they breaking the game? Or is it just another innovation that is an adjustment to the game, and it's fine that it exists? Bat technology hasn't been updated in years, so I think it's interesting. I mean, any way you can do it. Any way you can do it, but it turns out torpedo bats, not really that big of a deal. All right. Next up, my favorite, and there may be some merch coming out for this award. That is something that I would like to add to this whole thing. Making some fun merch for the OBAs. The Hall of Famer award for the catcher that had the highest rate of strikes called in the shadow zone. And what that means is they got they stole most of the strikes. So balls that were close, how often was that ball in that shadow zone, basically within a certain amount of distance from the actual strike zone, and then how often was that actually called a strike? That is a Hall of Famer. And who is this year's Hall of Famer? It is. Oops. Lifetime Cleveland Guardian Austin Hedges, who just re-signed with him. Congratulations, Hedge. He has lots of fun playing baseball, and he had a shadow strike rate of 47.8% to lead the league. And honestly, doesn't surprise me one bit, because the guy is known for his catching. Hitting isn't quite where the catching is, but Martino Maldonado played for like 3,000 years, so do what you got to do. Not everyone's good at everything, and he's a great catcher. So congratulations, Hedge. You deserve it. Your plaque is in the mail, my friend, and the bonus you get. I'm going to send you some U.S. Treasury savings bonds. No, I'm not. You don't want those. All right, let's move on. The Metroid Award. We even have Samus in here. I had to throw some nerdy stuff in. The Metroid Award is the catcher that threw out the most hitters. The catcher with a literal cannon for an arm. Metroid Award. Get it? Get it? All right. Who led the league in caught stealing as a catcher this year? Well, you're about to find out. Let's go. That would be Carlos Narvaez of the Boston Red Sox. He threw out 32 runners this year to lead the league. He was very good back there, and it was talked about quite a bit how you were playing with fire if you decided to run on Carlos Narvaez. Again, let's do another one. The Unhittable Stretch Award, or the Unhittable Award. Who was the most unhittable for the longest period of time? This one might be a given. We're going to hop right into it, but this is something that we need to bring up. This is like a combo show of remembering all the crazy stuff that happened this year, and this one was one of those things. Let's talk about it. It is Aroldis Chapman. Aroldis Chapman got 50 hitters out without giving up a hit from the All-Star break till September 10th. That is almost 2 months. He was 2.5 weeks away from throwing an entire half of Major League Baseball without allowing a hit until the night I reported on it, and then Shea Bangaliers hit a double in the gap, which was unfortunate. But that was 17 straight appearances in 14.2 innings. I can't imagine going 17 straight appearances and be like, I don't give up hits. That's crazy. So Aroldis looking like old-fashioned Aroldis right there. Wins the Unhittable Stretch Award this year. Congratulations. We have the Bullpen Bro Award. Now, we could have arguably given it to Aroldis Chapman, but that's not what it indicates. The Bullpen Bro, or as I call it, the Good Teammate Award, is the relief pitcher that stranded the highest percentage or did the best job of stranding inherited runners on a season. Meaning, when they come in the game and there's guys on base, they leave the most runners on base for the year. We've done good teammate, bad teammate here on the show before, where good teammates were guys that strand runners, bad teammates are one to cash them all in. There are a few guys out there in the big leagues that are good relievers, but they are so bad at stranding inherited runners. And this is something that I valued so much and that we know about in the bullpen. We're like, come on, man, pick your teammates up. Stop only stranding your own runners. Anyway, okay, so this is the Bullpen Bro, and the gentleman, he won another award from me, or he was my pick for something earlier this year, but that's the wrong button. I just pushed it again. It is Adrian Morejon. Yes, he had a great year. Yes, he had a sub-2 ERA, or I think just slightly over, actually. Yes, he had 13 wins as a reliever. Yes, he was probably their most reliable arm out of a bullpen that was full of reliable arms. But he was the guy they went to in every situation, including when there were people on base, to the tune of 45, which, guys, I had that role, the fireman role, a lot. The most I ever had in a season, I think, was 24. He had 45 this year. I guess that's how you win 13 games. He only allowed 5 to score. So he stranded 40 runners this year, which is, I mean, I don't know how you can ask for anything more than that. That is so good. He is such a good teammate. That's Adrian Morejon, and he is my reliever of the year. That isn't a closer, the non-closer reliever of the year. So congratulations. Your plaque is also in the mail, as is your treasury bond. Okay.
10 years from today, Lisa Schneider will trade in her office job to become the leader of a pack of dogs. As the owner of her own dog rescue, that is. A second act made possible by the reskilling courses Lisa's taking now with AARP to help make sure her income lives as long as she does. And she can finally run with the big dogs. And the small dogs, who just think they're big dogs. That's why the younger you are, the more you need AARP. Learn more at aarp.org/skills.
For adults with Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms, every choice matters. Tremfya offers self-injection or intravenous infusion from the start. Tremfya is administered as injections under the skin or infusions through a vein every 4 weeks, followed by injections under the skin every 4 or 8 weeks. If your doctor decides that you can self-inject Tremfya, proper training is required. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Let's say your small business has a problem, like maybe one of your doggy daycare customers had an accident. You might say something like,
Doggone it!
Hi, Chihuahua.
Holy schnauzers.
but if you need someone who can actually help, just say,
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
and get help filing a claim from your local State Farm agent. For your small business insurance needs, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Continuing forward, because there are a lot of these. Okay, we have just a few more, and then we're going to get into the community awards, which we have clips for. So we're going to be watching some video here in a moment. We have 3 more. 3 more, and then it's community award time, the ones you guys voted on, and we will blow through that pretty quick. All right, the next one, the Houdini Award. Do you know who Houdini was? So, This is the best escape from a bases loaded, no out situation that you put yourself in. Okay? So Houdini would handcuff himself, put him in a tank of water, and then he would escape out of his own trap. That's the Houdini Award. That's what we call it in baseball. We go, oh, Houdini. That was quite the Houdini. Houdini is leaving all three of those guys on a base with nobody on, with no runners scoring. Okay, and there were a few times that happened this year, but there was one big one I think a lot of you guys remember, and that was done by Aroldis Chapman. Game 1, the wild card where Garrett Crochet handed the ball off to him is 3-1 going into the 9th. In New York against the Yankees, he gave up a single to Judge. Hold on, I have it right here. Hold on, where is it? Where'd it go? Okay, he gave up a single to Goldschmidt, then Judge, and then Bellinger. So then it was bases loaded, 3 singles, bases loaded, no outs, 3-1 game in the place he used to play against your arch rival. After a mound visit, he proceeds to strike out Giancarlo Stanton on a splitter, an OT splitter. You got Jazz Chisholm to fly out to medium right field to Abreu, who has a great arm, and they Goldschmidt on third, so they weren't able to score. And then he ended up punching out Trent Grisham with a 101 fastball up and in on a 2-2 pitch. Chu escaped the jam, and it was impressive. Though it didn't end up mattering because the Yankees moved on. Still, to do that in that situation with that much pressure, I mean, there's really nothing, there's no other situation that should faze you at that point. So, congratulations. Your other award is on its way. Maybe we'll just send that right to the Red Sox for that one. Okay. The walk-off of the year. The biggest moment for a walk-off on the season. And I'll be honest, it came down to 2. This includes the playoffs, so we got to talk about this, but I just want to relive this one with you guys because it's wonderful. So we're just going to get into it. Like, the walk-off of the year. We're going to go with the Game 5 walk-off of the ALDS, Jorge Polanco. The reason I chose this play is because of the stakes involved. It was this or Game 3 of the World Series. I understand Game 3 of the World Series was in the World Series, but it wasn't a deciding game. That was 1. I know it went 3 more innings. It was not a deciding game. It was a big game, but it wasn't a deciding. This was to send a team that had not been to the CS in 5 years to the ALCS at home, which they had also not had in a long time, after a 15-inning game. So I will say it just, the feeling of relief, and also I'm biased. We'll also throw that out there. So I gave that the winner. Okay, next up, the Uncle Rico Award goes to the person with the best outfield assist of the year. If you're not familiar with Uncle Rico, he can throw a football over a quarter mile. If you don't know that reference, type it into ChatGPT. It'll find it. The Uncle Rico Award goes to the best outfield assist. That outfield assist goes to Ronald Acuna Jr. lightly flies over to the right, catches it nonchalantly, and absolutely throws a bullet to third, which is just absolutely insane. Nabbing Jorbit Vivas at third from the Yankees. You couldn't find the velo on this one. I couldn't find any velocity on it, but we do know he owns the record for the fastest pitch. I don't say fastest, for the hardest throw out of the outfield with 105.8 in 2022. So it doesn't surprise me one bit he did that. But I think everyone was pretty surprised when it happened. He deked him. Uncle Rico would be proud, bro. Uncle Rico could be proud. All right. We are about to move into the community awards, guys. So these are the awards voted on by the people, you, the people. The people who have been here all year on May Day. I wanted to get your votes and your feedback on 8 of them. This might expand next year, and we will be doing a more robust voting system. But I would love to hear your feedback on these things. Hit me in the comments and in the Discord if you're there. You should be there if you're not. With any other categories you think we should do, or if we should bring in some guests to do some categories, or anything else we can add to the show. I want to make this a real thing, and this is kind of our first go at it. All right. So I want to start with wholesome moment of the year because there is a caveat here. Okay. So the winner we're going to give this to didn't actually win the vote, but the one that did, I didn't want to do it in an award situation. I wanted to just give, say something about it and give my thoughts to the person that it was about, because I don't think it was a thing that it should be said in the context of an award show. But the tribute to from the Blue Jays to Alex Vesia, who, if you don't know, did not play in the World Series and was taken off the roster because, unfortunately, his young daughter Sky passed away at the end of October, right before the series started. So, and he very obviously had to deal with that. And myself having a little one, I think they were about the same age. I can't fathom what going through that is like. I can't fathom it. And thoughts and prayers with him. I've been thinking about him nonstop since I found out, because I actually didn't know until a couple days ago also. So I know he recently put out there, was a little bit ago, but yeah, like the pain they must be going through must be great, amazing, like just so much. And like, I don't even have words. I can't even put into, it's just, it breaks my heart again. And I'm feeling really, it's hard to talk about. So thinking about him, and I just want to say that before we move on with the rest of the show. Okay. But instead, the wholesome moment of the year was, and I think that we can all get behind this. I'm going to pop right into it. It's Clayton Kershaw and making his final start in Seattle and having Freddie Freeman, the worm himself, come get him, grab it. Clayton's having fun, enjoying it, hugs all around. And I will give all the credit in the world to Clayton Kershaw and his amazing career, his awesome kids and family. God, they're so wholesome too. And he did in Seattle, and he walked off, and then the Seattle crowd gave him quite the ovation. And we even got a Ben Roordvelt appearance. I know Ben. So congratulations to Kershaw. We got the overhead view. It's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Great standing O in a place that he did not pitch very often. And just reminds me of that time I got my standing O and I came off after my last pitch. Whatever. I'm not Clayton Kershaw. All right, moving on. Baseball Creator of the Year. Now, this isn't a player. This is a content creator that covers baseball that cannot be me. I know it would have been me. I know. But it wasn't me. So this is for the guy or gal or group of people that you guys enjoyed watching baseball content from. And there was it was actually a pretty close race. Very close, actually. We'll talk about those numbers in just a second. But your winner is, for Baseball Content Creator of the Year, it's John Boy Media. John Boy Media edges out Foolish Baseball by 1.2% of the vote, going 34.5% of the vote to 33 for Foolish. Eric Sim also held his own with 20.7%, and Fuzzy brought up 11.5% of the day. But John Boy took it. Very, very interesting. He's known for his breakdowns, as we know. He's Content Creator of the Year now with his partner Jake. They made John Boy Media. They just got a big investment from MLB. I mean, by all accounts, they are the industry leader at this point, or at least leading for the new age media in that side of things. So congratulations, Jimmy, on your award. Your plaques in the mail. Okay, moving forward.
10 years from today, Lisa Schneider will trade in her office job to become the leader of a pack of dogs. As the owner of her own dog rescue, that is. A second act made possible by the reskilling courses Lisa's taking now with AARP to help make sure her income lives as long as she does. And she can finally run with the big dogs. And the small dogs, who just think they're big dogs. That's why the younger you are, the more you need AARP. Learn more at aarp.org/skills.
Let's say your small business has a problem, like maybe one of your doggy daycare customers had an accident. You might say something like,
Doggone it!
Hi, Chihuahua.
Holy schnauzers.
but if you need someone who can actually help, just say,
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
and get help filing a claim from your local State Farm agent. For your small business insurance needs, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
When cool, creamy ranch meets tangy, bold buffalo, the whole is greater than the sum of its sauce. Say howdy, partner, to new Buffalo Ranch sauce. Only at McDonald's for a limited time.
At participating McDonald's.
Now, we want the player creator of the world, because now that is the world we live in. I said world, right? Of the year. That's the world we live in now. Everyone makes content or everyone has a social media presence. We know about the guys who are great on Twitter. So that's what this includes. This includes anybody who does YouTube and currently playing, does like a YouTube channel, a podcast, just like great on Twitter, great on Instagram, great on TikTok, whatever it is. It doesn't even have to be about baseball, really. They all are about baseball, but it doesn't have to be. And the guys you appreciated the most. Now, this one is a little bit more of a landslide than I anticipated, but the people have spoken. I don't know what to tell you. Your player, creator of the year is Mookie Betts with the On Base podcast with Mookie Betts on the Bleacher Report. A lot of people loved when he had guests on. They loved the conversations. Tons of subscribers. I am actually intimate with how this thing kind of came together. We have a shared agent when I was playing, and by all accounts, he's very into it, very researched, and people love the show. Mookie Betts. Oh, look, he's good at podcasting and bowling and golfing and baseball and basketball and football and everything. He's better at everything than me. He's better. Pimp job of the year. Let's talk about it. All right. Pimp job of the year. By the way, Mookie got 41% of the vote also, so it wasn't even close. Crazy. If you want to watch it, it's on YouTube and anywhere you listen to podcasts. Okay. Pimp job of the year. There was a lot here. There was a lot of big home runs hit. There was a lot of guys doing crazy stuff. Though we didn't have anything insane happen. I think this guy's about to be in these for a couple of these. So just prepare yourself. But Pimp Job of the Year, this received 37% of the vote. It needs no further introduction. Your Pimp Job of the Year was Vladimir Guerrero Jr. off of Will Warren. Grand slam, watch it, toss it. That's it. Crispy, clean, homer. Love it. Love to see it. It was impressive. Good swing. Max Fried didn't like it very much. It's a tough game. And that's when things started to get really out of hand for the Yankees. So, Vlad with the big homer, the second of 8 in the playoffs. So, congratulations. We have a pitch of the year as well, because if you have a pimp job, you have to have a pitch. We're going to do a strikeout. That's boring. And pitchers don't get things like pimp jobs. So, we're going to do pitch of the year. This one, landslide. This one won easy. And it makes a lot of sense. That is the wrong button. Mason Miller. To Tyler Kelly. 104 down and away painted. Oh my God. That is the best pitch I've ever seen. You could not place that any better, and it was 104.2 miles an hour, which, what? Congratulations, Mason. You freak of nature. All right. The viral moment of the year, or one of the highest viewed, basically, social clips when it happened. But the viral event, baseball event, the one that everyone was talking about at the time, it's kind of hard to explain it. I'm just going to tell you what it was because it'll make sense when you see it. Nick Kurtz, 4 home run game, 33% of the vote for that one. Nick Kurtz hit 4 home runs in a game. 2 of which were opposite field, and all 4 were off different pitches. For your reigning Rookie of the Year, that was just slight work, but he went 6 for 6. One of the greatest baseball hitting performances in history. So congratulations, Nick Kurtz, on your 4 home run game. I will be honest, I wanted to have a video, but nothing was cooperating to get the video. So I'm sorry, you just got to have this picture of him presumably hitting one of those home runs. I think this was the really far one because it looks like it was pulled. Big Amish, my guy. All right, last 3 awards we have here on the first ever OBAs. The reliever entrance of the year. With 47.5% of the vote, I'm not even going to drum roll because this one's obvious. It is Johan Duran entering. Though this is a video of it in Minnesota. We know that they sent him over when he was traded to the Phillies. He comes out to an absolutely epic. Look at that, dude. It's nuts. And I know you can't hear the music, but like it's a mashup of a lot of different Latin music. It doesn't matter. You could play anything. This is epic. Johan Duran has the reliever entrance of the year. Congratulations. You deserve it. Walk-up song of the year. The walk-up of the year award. Best walk-up song for any hitter all year. And there was a lot. Like we had like Bryce Harper come in. We had Trey Turner with his. A lot of Phillies actually were in the final vote here. But with 43.4% of the vote, in his first AB of the year on the first pitch, it is Citi Field singing along with Mr. Francisco Lindor, My Girl. So as the audio ends, the crowd sings My Girl, and then Francisco has the ball thrown, and then proceeds to hit a double. Very impressive. Also, love it when a bunch of people just like understand the assignment. It's pretty cool. I didn't know that this was going to take this long for him to hit. Can you get in the box, please, and go hit? But first pitch, everyone's very, very excited for it, as you can see. My Girl, right here. Everyone's singing My Girl. Just imagine it. My girl, my girl. And then, bang. Pretty neat. Pretty neat. All right. And for our final award in the first ever OBAs, we have the meme of the year. And boy, oh boy, I love that we all chose this one. This one won pretty handily. Actually, probably the most handily of anything with over 53% of the vote. We have Yankees lose. The Yankees lose. Number 1, best meme of the year. Also, the best part is A-Rod doing that and Jeter being very uncomfortable. I enjoyed it. So, that is the final one we have. Those were your OBAs. First ever time we did it. I had a good time with it.
Ten years from today, Lisa Schneider will trade in her office job to become the leader of a pack of dogs. As the owner of her own dog rescue, that is. A second act made possible by the reskilling courses Lisa's taking now with AARP to help make sure her income lives as long as she does. And she can finally run with the big dogs. And the small dogs, who just think they're big dogs. That's why the younger you are, the more you need AARP. Learn more at aarp.org/skills.
If your small business is booming and ready to expand, you might say something like,
It's happening!
Booyah!
Yeah!
Crushed it.
but if you need someone who can actually help protect your growing business, just say,
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
and just like that, your State Farm agent can help you get the coverage you need for your new space. For your small business insurance needs, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Did you know 39% of teen drivers admit to texting while driving? Even scarier, those who text are more likely to speed and run red lights. Shockingly, 94% know it's dangerous but do it anyway. As a parent, you can't always be in the car, but you can stay connected to their safety with Greenlight Infinity's driving reports. Monitor their driving habits, see if they're using their phone, speeding, and more. These reports provide real data for meaningful conversations about safety. Plus, with weekly updates, you can track their progress over time. Help keep your teens safe. Sign up for Greenlight Infinity at greenlight.com/podcast.